Hello, this video we're going to be comparing and contrasting Bernard Herrmann's The Knife theme from Psycho 1960 by Alfred Hitchcock with some human scream recordings that were taken for this experiment through this research paper. First of all, just to explain what we're looking in here in Ableton, I have two channels set up. Here are my Here are my recordings of my screams. I took the four best, I top and tailed them, and I processed them then with a little vocal rack that I had created earlier. Just things like gain, gate, compression, over the OTT, multiband dynamics, reverb time, delay feedback, just to get it to professional quality, as you can hear. Also on the channels which was mentioned in the methodology is we have our FabFilter Pro Q3, our Spectrum Analyzer, and also our spectrogram. Now our spectrograph, it can be called as well, but a spectrogram here. And these are all native built into Live. Now what we're going to be trying to look for here is we're going to be trying to look at the kind of EQ, the spectrum, the spectral EQ of the audio, and also the spectrogram imagery here. And what we're going to be trying to do is look for similarities between the stabbing violins in the Psycho theme and also the human scream. And just very lastly then as well, we have the knife scene, the shower scene from Psycho, but this is the film scene audio with the screams over it. So this is from the scene. So we're going to listen to that thirdly. It is a bit more muddled, but we can check it out. So first of all, we're going to have just a little look at these screams here. So as we see, quite a sharp stab around the 1K region. And here again at 2.5, 4.4. So that's quite a big stab, and we can see as it represents here on our spectrogram. There's a kind of sequence of lines proceeding up. Now we'll check our next one. This was done by the same voice actor, mind. And now this is a different voice actor. So this was more of one of those bone curdling, typical horror screams that you would get in the film industry. But again, here we have it hitting around 1.3 kilohertz, and again peaks here at 2.7, 3.7, and along that. Here on the spectral time spectrogram, you can see that it's quite a busy, chunky sound here, and that dissipates then into more of a simpler line like we've seen here. So this could be due to distortion, a little bit clipping on the microphone, but it is quite interesting. I also have here a male's voice, just to kind of show an example of how that does come up differently in these things, in these tools. Okay, so see here again, much more of a fuller sound, but more in the low mid range. And see it here, it is hitting, but it's not quite getting up to that alarming sound that would trigger the fear of flight or response inside us. Now, so next we're going to have a little look at, remembering that this was triggering about 1K, we're going to have a little listen to the Psycho, The Knife theme by Bernard Herrmann. So already we see it here. So if we just go back to the start, what we can see here is large stabs up and down. In here we have the 2.2 region, we have a 1.3K coming in, And as the harmonizing notes come in that are lower, obviously you are going to see more activity down in the lower part of the frequency range below 1K. But as you can see at the very start, you do have that high frequency, you know, coming in. So let's just look at this again. So, and now the psycho strings. So it is missing that 1K of this scream, but this one starts nice here and starts at that, and the psycho string does start at 2.24K, but you can see the others come in here. Now if you actually listen carefully in that note, that is, I believe, an E coming in, and that second note here is an E flat. That gets layered then with an F, I believe, as it goes up. So it's that E flat is actually quite close to that sound, because it's coming in around here. So as you can see, yeah, again on the spectrogram, quite interesting that it does quite look similar to, say, these screams. It's a little bit lower on the frequency range, of course. Again, we check. But it has a similar representation, which is interesting. I also just wanted to quickly run through the actual Starr scene. So this is quite nice, because it actually shows you can make out two things going at two audio sources going on. So we have the composition that's here around the 2.4 region, and we have the screams going on from around here. So there we go, 1.28K with the screams coming in. Again, looks a bit similar to this, but with the added screams in. Again, let's just have a look. Yeah, 1.43 and then 1.15. So great. Thank you for watching, and continue with the reading.